In this video, I will be going through how do we do the local test for the level reduction with the Mantid framework. So basically, it's following the documentation in this website, and I can put the link to this documentation in the video description. So the first stage is we can log into the analysis cluster using, for example, ThinLink. That's what I'm using now. And then if you can go and launch the Mantid Workbench. And when we have the Mantid Workbench launched, to do the testing, there are some settings that we need to go through. The first one is if you go to the File, Settings, we want to choose the facility to be something like this, the test live. So that's the kind of dummy facility we want to use for doing the local testing for the level reduction. Because normally, when we are testing against the instrument, a real instrument, it is required that the data is being collected. So there are some live data stream coming through the whole pipeline. But say if the instrument is not running, or we just want to do some local testing, we can choose this test live facility. And we can choose the default instrument. Again, it's kind of a dummy instrument. And if you choose Adara file reader, that can take a pre-existing event file, the NeXus file, and then the whole testing engine can use that data to create some dummy live stream, given the data we choose for the testing purpose. That's the only settings that we want to go through to tell the program that we want to use a local file as a testing target. And after that, if we close the Mantid Workbench for the moment and go to our local setting folder for Mantid, so that's in our home directory, cd.mantid. If we list out the files, we can find the Mantid user properties. So that contains some bottom level configurations or settings for the Mantid Workbench. And the thing we want to put in here, so here I have already got the settings in, but if you have never configured the level reduction before, you will not see those lines that I'm highlighting now. But fundamentally, we want to put in the bottom two lines to tell the program which file, which NeXus file we want to use for doing the level reduction testing to create the local stream. And then the bottom line is telling the interval for doing the testing, for creating the live stream. The setting line just above it is telling where to find this file. And for sure, we can put it in here, like just using the editor in this way. Or later on, I can show in the GUI how do we do the setting. But basically, we need to tell the program where to find this data. And after we put in the settings to tell the program the testing data we want to use, we can then launch the Mantid Workbench again. And if you close this window, you can see now the facility has already been changed to the test live. The default instrument has been changed to Adara file reader. If you close that welcome window and we go back to the settings. Oh, actually, we don't need to worry about anything here. So that's actually the thing I want to bring up. So here is the manage user directory. Basically, that's the GUI way of defining where to find the test data, basically. So here, if we want to choose the directory here, and we can just using the browser to browse into a directory where we put the test event data. And say open. and we can say add directory. So that directory will be added into the list. And at the bottom level, actually, it's just updating the file that was just showing. It's doing the same thing. One is using the GUI way, the other is using the editor way. But anyhow, once we put in the settings, once we tell the program which test file that we want to use, we are ready to launch the live data engine or interface. So we can just go to load and then select the live data from the dropdown. And again, here we have the choice to select an instrument, and we want to choose the Adara file reader. And for the connection, we want to select the file. For the starting time, it's probably okay to stay with now. At least that's working for me. And for the live reduction part, actually we have two stages. One is processing, one is the post-processing. There's no like a harsh line between these two guys. It's maybe something like we put in some the let calculations in the processing part, and then we put in the heavy calculation in the post-processing part. But we can also choose, like what I'm doing now, choose no processing for the post-processing. That basically means we don't want to do the post-processing. We only want to do the processing part. But say if we do want to do the post-processing, we can select for sure the Python script. And then what the program will do is it would take the output from the processing stage as the input for the post-processing stage. So that's the logic of the program working. So here, for the testing purpose, or for the demo purpose, I will select no processing for the post-processing part. And for the processing part, we choose the Python script. For sure, you can choose the algorithm to do something else. But if you choose the Python script, you can say go to the tab on the right-hand side. On the post-processing step type, we select load. And in this demo, I'm choosing the Nomad live reduction script. And once the data is, once the script is loaded in, if you scroll down a little bit, for sure this is pretty specific to my demo script. But what I want to say is, if you look at this variable, the input, that's actually a system variable that is pointing to the live stream. But basically you can see that this variable is not defined in this script. So the script itself, or Mantid, is configured in such a way that it can find this variable through the live stream. And accordingly, we also have another system variable called output. That's the system variable, again, known by Mantid itself, to pointing to the output of this processing stage. And if we really want to do the post-processing stage, that's actually the output of the processing stage, as I said earlier, is then becoming the input of the post-processing stage. So if we go to the post-processing step, if we do have the Python script, suppose that we have loaded in something in the post-processing step, in this script, we will be having a variable called input. And that input here is actually pointing to this output in this processing stage. So that's the logic of the program again. And in the output workspace, we can just put in the live test norm, like what I'm having here, but it can be arbitrary name. If you want, we can keep this interface open, and after things are ready, we can just click on the run, which will run the live reduction script, which I don't want to do here. Actually, I have another instance that is running now. You can see it's just running through the live reduction script, this one. And say if we want to cancel the live reduction stream or processing, we can go here at the bottom called details, click on it, and then we can click on this button, say to cancel, which I don't want to do in this case. Okay, so that's pretty much all about how do we do the local testing for the live reduction. Thank you.